Today demos. Who has demos? What? Okay, we'll see the PRs then. And check the chat.
Yeah, I checked the Chrome thingy.
Yeah, I used the wrong word. I commented on your.
Yeah, I saw, but I was checking it right away. But I don't see any issues with logging in. So.
Yeah, but it should. We need to enable something in Chrome to trigger.
I did.
Right. Yes, I'll post an issue for you now because I got one.
Aha.
Oh, okay. So.
So yeah, just comment on the current issue.
Yeah, just paste it in there. I'll have a look.
Fetching. Orchard core, fetching Orchard 1. So on Orchard 1, nothing has been merged. Endeavor 110x. I don't think so. Oh, still fetching. Let me be sure. Nope, nothing. Orchard core. So last week we were the 10th. So this one, no, I don't want to check out. Fix error when using TryCreateDirectory. So Dean fixed an issue with blob storage. I assume when a folder is not existing. Okay. If it's not existing, create the directory. Okay. Yeah, maybe this method should have been. Oh, that's weird. It looks like a retry. No, oh, sorry. This was the call before and now. If the directory doesn't exist, create it. Yeah, okay. So this is really create. Oh, if the directory already exists, this will fail. Interesting. Deployment card equal heights. So with the screenshot, it's better, but there is no screenshot in this thing. On the issue, there is a screenshot, so it looks better. Add boolean value type for email verify claim controller to get right jot serialization. Timur Lunov. And Kevin reviewed it, so that's good. Update taxonomy docs. Okay, typo here, typo there. Get categorized content item async. Get categorized content item async. Documentation. Move header zone to body not head. This. I get it, but that's weird. So I saw the issue filed by Bertrand, I assume. So okay. So I assume there was a misunderstanding with what header is. And in this case, the header is for the content and not for the metadata, which I assume I meant to be the metadata, and that's why it was confusing, probably. But okay. It's called footer in the body, so it's fine to be called header in the body, and then to have a custom one for the meta if we need to change it. So this is a layout for login, which doesn't have it in this case, but the layout for the non-login has that. That's weird. I will have also put that in the layout for the login. And safe mode here also. Okay, so just standardizing what header means for the layout. CodeMirror editor for TextField. CodeMirror editor for TextField. That's a new editor for a TextField where you can use CodeMirror instead of a text area. And also for not just the text field. CodeMirror auto refresh, fixing an issue. So we had some custom logic before to update the editor itself with the content, because I think there is a discrepancy when you set the value and then when we need to wait for something to see the CodeMirror getting the data that we set from script. So apparently there's a plugin that does that now, auto refresh. So that's good. Antoine found it. Email address validator service 2. Yeah, there is one PR pending. So this one is to make a new email address validator service that is available by default in orchard.infrastructure abstractions, and it's using MailKit. So that's a new service you can use to validate emails. And this way, if you want to replace it, you can replace your own logic for email validation. There is a new PR fixing some design decisions coming. I think it was just waiting for the build to pass. Tenant description. So we can define a description on the views for each tenant. Blob prefix when there is no container-based path. I don't know which one is fixing. Missing a prefix. There was an issue, didn't fix it. Fix localizer names. We still have some wrong localizers, or at least some wrong names. Interesting. Yeah, okay, some little refactoring. Update documentation for non-Visual Studio users. Why would you not use Visual Studio? Thank you, Satiris. Bump acorn. Uh-oh. The only concern I have with these bots. So Antoine, did you set it up?
I merged these PRs.
So you merged manually?
Yes.
Okay. I was worried that it will, well, why are there two then commits?
Because this is a different package. One in test, one in at the root.
Oh, we have two package lock, okay. Oh, because, yeah, so they both use the same thing, so we'll get two commits.
There were two PRs.
Okay, so the only, yeah, I think we'll get that. So the only concern I have here is that I don't know how it works yet, but we'll see over time. I like these kind of things. There is the same thing with NuGet also. I think it can update the things with NuGet, but I'm afraid it will just be a list of updates, like 10 updates per day or something like that. We'll see. This is just yesterday. but I'm scared that we get that. I know in the ASP.NET Core repo there is a bot like this, and it's kind of crazy how much commits it creates. At some point, just know it, so we have to be careful. Or can we configure it to just say run once a month or run once a week to update the things?
This is to fix security vulnerabilities.
Okay, then that's okay. We'll see how it goes. There is another bot I configured.
Sometimes there might be I've seen quite a lot of them come through in a day, and sometimes it may be better to actually do the upgrades manually, but use these as notifications, perhaps.
Notifications. Oh, you mean tell us that we need to do that, but that's what, if it creates a PR, I think that's fine, but it's kind of like a notification. Yeah, security is good. We'll see how it goes. At the same time, it's good to update when there is a reason to update. So it's interesting to know what is being updated. If it's security, fine. If it's feature, like, do we need this feature, or it's just like a new color or things like this. Also, if we don't cover the things with unit tests, it's kind of risky to take new things if we don't know if it will break anything. So not complaining about this one, just be careful when we accept new dependencies. Because we might have tested something when we use a dependency, but then updating the dependency might break something because we won't try it again. Good. Dependabot. And I was saying we have another bot that I configured a few weeks ago that deletes the branches. There are super nice bots actually that do things automatically on GitHub. It can help a lot. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, questions?
Nope.
Topics? Nope. Harvest? No.
Yes.
What you want to go to? So Mathis is going to harvest.
I'll sit in the room alone and stream it from
safe.
London.
Topics, questions, anything to talk about? 1.0. Let's do a status check on 1.0. Let's look at the PRs. Orchard.net. There was I was looking at a site. Yeah, we can talk about it. That's interesting. Orchard core. Let me add a topic. I have a topic. New O1 site. What the hell? There is. What's the point of not making it better and faster?
Actually, it's not new. Just click on the first. Yeah.
This one.
It's not new. It's about 4 years old, but they finally decided to upload it. So it's
good.
It's the first of it uses Angular, and it's a headless O1 site.
Like Toyota.
Okay. So if you go here, you see the Angular effect. So all of this is Angular, and we get API, everything that's going to in Orchard one.
I can't mute Larem. Why?
I did.
Okay, thank you. I think that's where the echo was coming from. Okay, Angular.
yeah, I think that the lobby guys remember the site. They have made some things on this as well. So it's about telecom measurements in Greece by an operator. I don't think that they have English measurements uploaded, or maybe they have. I'm not sure.
It works.
But
it's
yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't break. There is no such result or something like that, but I like it.
Yeah.
That works. Beautiful.
It's, so it's kind of headless in order one.
So this
if you click the result, yeah.
If I click the result here,
yeah, there's a button down.
There is a button.
Results.
Oh, results. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I click.
Yeah.
And
click. And
okay, apply.
Click and play. So yeah, it's an ordered one. Yeah, it's a lot of, yeah. And it took about 4 years to make it live. Not bad. Anyway, that's from me.
Thank you. Beautiful. I opened that to look at the what? Antoine, there are vulnerabilities. What's the point? A bot that fixes them automatically.
Yeah, moderate, not critical.
We hadn't had some for so long. So do you think the dependent bot will find them and fix them?
It depends on the severity, I guess.
If you don't check in the package.lock, then you won't get those. You don't really need that checked in.
Yeah, no, we need package lock checked in.
But it is, yeah. We need it.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
We need. Okay, you can say what you want, but I will insist we need the package log to be checked in. We have to. And okay, let's do a vote. And when we reach 10 against 1, we say we agree. Like, okay. So who says we need the package log the package.log file to be checked in? I say +1. You can say -1. 2, 3. And then we can talk about the reason. 4. Masses. The guy. You are the guy. You like to.
I don't know, so I abstain. I abstain.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know.
Oh, that's good to say you don't know. Yeah. Good. You are consistent. That makes sense. Good job. And yeah. So the idea is that Antoine. So the idea is that if you don't check it in, every time you restore the packages, you might get a new version. Everyone will get a new version, a different version at the moment they build their stuff. So your application will just vary over time, and you don't decide what you take in. It's like for the NuGet. Yep.
Yeah, but it's if you do like not specific versions, right? If you say give me latest or upwards from, or
so
if you do specific versions.
I was about to give an analogy. When you use NuGet, when you use NuGet, do you put a version or do you put .star?
Version.
You use a version. That's why the package lock is the same thing. You put a version, you don't put .star. Otherwise, every build, it will also try to download all the dependency and check if there are new things everywhere, NuGet or NPM. So 2 reasons. First, to have a stable product, you decide when you update. And second, when you build, you don't restore every time just to check if there are new versions.
Yeah, but you can do that with package.json. You can specify a specific version, right?
You can. That's what I'm saying.
But you don't need a log file for that.
No,
I'm out of my league, so
no.
I'll
a log
shut
file
up.
is exactly that. A log file is like a project file where we put NuGet packages versions inside. That's exactly the same thing. It's just a different file for NPM. For us, it's in the CS project, but that's what it is. It defines exactly what dependencies at what version you want to take in. So, and we had so many issues before we didn't commit the package lock. And that's actually a recommended way to that. So let's do a simple thing. Should I commit packages.lock? What is that? This one? What's the name? What's the name?
Yeah, but look, if you look at this, look at the chat. If you say we have to take Babel core up from version 7.7, right? Then it will take the latest version.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. In the packages file, you state for certain packages, you say I don't know how you call that, but we call it the little roof of the house, right? Upwards from version 7.7.7. So it takes latest version if it finds. If you remove the upwards and you say specifically 7.7.7, it will always get specifically 7.7.
I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying you shouldn't do that. It's not about possibility of doing that. It's about don't do that for reasons. Okay, so I'm not. Yeah. So here you say, should I commit package.json? Yes. Why? And they will explain you why. You should commit this file. You see? Yes, you should commit this file. It's like a common knowledge that you should commit this file. You might have specific reasons to not do that because you have a special case, but Orchard Core is not a special case in this case, and you want. So I was also mentioning how we had the issue. Like last year when we were introducing the Gulp files with npm and these packages files, like someone would build and run the functional tests and then they wouldn't work anymore because we didn't have the same versions. So it's about the transitive dependencies. All of them have to work together. And once we found something that works, we should fix this list of dependencies so we are sure that the next guy that downloads the code, it will work. And not have, it doesn't work today for me or tomorrow or
but because NPM is a bit more in flux because it has like millions of packages. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Always change.
Makes sense.
And on NuGet, we do the same thing. On NuGet in the CS, we have a dependencies.props files where we pin the version for each package because we want to know what version we'll include every time we build. It's fine to update it, but we all use the same version when we do something. Otherwise, you can't find the bug because, wait, you have a different version than me. Maybe that's it. Let's try to re-update again. And then it will always change. That's why we need a package lock. Maybe we should read this article and it's Stack Overflow answer. And 1500 for yes. Is intended to be checked into source control. If you are using npm5, you may see this in the command line, create a log line. You should commit this file according to npm help package log.json. So this file has been invented to be checked in the source code. It will work in some cases if you don't check it in because it will restore it. But if you work as a team, then you will start having issues. If you work by yourself and you don't care about updating or checking if there are new versions for every package every time you build, that's fine. If you work alone and you don't care about it, so you will get the new version every time. But if you work as a team, you should have that. And I think we care in Orchard Core to work as a team, so we committed. So why did we talk about that? What was the trigger of this discussion? Oh, the fact that we see alerts and we see package block and it found it? Yeah, so it's there in the repo. And that's also a way for bots to detect that we are using a wrong package and we should use the latest one. Okay. So is it William?
Well, I have a question. Have you guys used npm or npu where -u and it will go out and update all your packages? I use that all the time, and maybe that should be utilized.
So if we ask for a -u, we are asking for updating it on purpose, and I think it's compatible. That should work when you commit also package-lock.json. I mean, when we want to get the latest, we could do that, and it will update everything on demand. So I think that's okay. That with the package-lock.json.
Yeah, I think Antoine does that quite regularly. He seems to be the man for the npm updates.
Personally, I don't know about -u. I will just delete the npm modules and do npm install again. And that's but yeah, -u might be better to just update the dependencies. But that's totally compatible and probably work better.
Have you guys used the install npu check updates?
What we said, no, npm -u. What is that? Is that a link or tool? So npm check experience. So npm check updates is a tool. List what packages are there. Okay. -u to update. Yeah, I think that's what Antoine does. I assume I don't know if he's using this tool, but that's what Antoine does sometimes to update the dependencies regularly.
Yeah, I am using a VS Code extension, but yes.
Okay, so VS Code has that too. And then it sets everything in the package log, package.lock, package-lock.json, and then we commit it. So everyone has the same version. So one has to run the updates for whatever tool they want, and then we get new versions.
So I'm talking about NCU, right? You guys, have you used that? And then you do an NCU-U, and then you do an npm like install, and then that will update you to the latest.
Yeah, that's
okay.
One tool. That's one tool. That's, you see on my screen, that's what I found out. That's one tool. But Antoine says he's using another tool that does the same thing, updating the dependencies. The goal is just to find the new versions for each package. So this tool does it. VS Code does it too. Antoine uses the VS Code one and does it for us.
Yes, and to fix the vulnerabilities, we can also do npm audit.
And it will just update if there is a vulnerability. Okay. So you call it
another thing, guys, I noticed that you're not using Webpack, and there's some features with Webpack that would work a lot better using, MS Build.
Yes, so Jasmine, what do you think about Webpack? I don't know Webpack enough. I know some features, but
the workflow module is using Webpack.
Okay.
I think Sipke used it, but just in workflow.
Yeah, there is some advantages with using Webpack, but
they have tree shaking and all that good stuff, and
nobody wants to write a PR to do that because it's hard work.
Yeah, we have a good file that works, and that's why we use it for now.
It's supposed to be better with Webpack because it's an upgrade over NPM. NPM had a lot of issues with finding dependencies, cross dependencies over.
But isn't it orthogonal? Isn't Webpack just similar to Gulp instead of being similar to NPM? Like you use Webpack with NPM?
You are not using NPM when you're using Webpack.
Interesting.
If I can remember well, but makes a year last time I used it, so.
I don't know.
Yeah, my organization uses
remember? Yeah.
my organization uses Webpack for the, we have a Vuetify front end on top of Orchard Core, and they moved away from our Gulp or your Gulp approach. But I think for Orchard, the Gulp approach is better because you work in like modules, and with NPM, it's really easy to manage your modular dependencies. And with Webpack, I don't know if it can create the kind of experience that we like in Orchard Core. So I don't know if Webpack is compatible with Orchard Core. I know our Gulp approach is. So that's what my experience with it is.
Yeah, so I did mention that the workflow module uses Webpack and not the Gulp pipeline. So yes, we can for each module use Webpack. A broader change will be to use Webpack completely instead of Gulp. So all the modules we have will switch to Webpack, but another one could still use Gulp, like the themes, they use Gulp and their own Gulp scripts. Jasmin, from reading at the Webpack documentation, it looks like it's not what you're saying, that they're saying, no, use NPM, this is Webpack, this is how you use it. And you use NPM and you define your package.json file, which is an NPM file. And then you see NPM install Lodash. So Webpack seems to be working. Maybe you can use it without NPM, but for me, it's just a bundler.
I'd like to make a point, guys. Steve Sanderson, you guys know him, who does all the Blazor stuff. He creates libraries using Webpack. So what he'll do is he'll go out and get a package, and then he'll use Webpack, and he uses MS Build to build the whole entire thing. And he has an example how to do that. And I think that's the correct way of doing it, because Webpack is a lot better technology than Gulp or any of those.
Maybe.
So.
And if it's compatible with MS Build support, that's good. So.
Yeah, I mean, Webpack is more advanced than Gulp. I mean, there's a lot of different features.
Yeah, but it has to add some values that you sell us, because just saying it's more advanced. So far,
there is lots of values. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you learn it, then you would understand.
So I would suggest to file an issue with all the advantages that we could gather, and then someone will need to implement that, because that's also some work to switch from Gulp to Webpack.
Yeah, and if you look at Steve Sanderson's blog, he talks how you take a library, right? That's a GitHub JavaScript library, and he integrates it with, Blazor WebAssembly, and he uses Webpack, and he uses MS Build and Webpack together. That's the beauty of it.
File an issue, share the link, and we can read it.
Okay, I can do that.
But be precise about not just saying it's better.
I've been using it for 3 years.
But have a little analysis of what we actually do in the Gulp file as well, because what we're not wanting to do here is produce one library for all of Orchard Core. We produce a very modern system. So, I mean, it's possible to do it, but show us some advantages.
Well, I'm just saying these are the best practices that, JavaScript developers use, and using Webpack is a best practice.
Yeah, but we need 3 unique selling points for Webpack above what we already have. So if you can come up with 3, maybe there's somebody who will do the work. Oh, 3, always 3.
Well, if you look at what the industry's doing and what Steve Sanderson's doing, gosh, you follow that.
Okay, that's one.
I have a good idea. Because the industry is using WordPress, we should just all do WordPress. That's better. That's better.
But there's a point here, Dean. There's a point here, Dean said that we have multiple modules, and the Gulp pipeline will consider them as separate packaged bundle together. Webpack is used normally to bundle everything together as a single solution, single JS file, single CSS file. Can we do the same as with our Gulp pipeline? Because the Gulp pipeline here has some module. Can we do some module with Webpack something that we need to check before.
I investigated Webpack, and it seems to on save generate a new file with some ID, so that when you reload your application, you don't have to do Control F5, you just do F5 and the browser recognizes it as a non-cached version. So when we try to implement Webpack instead of a Gulp file when creating modules, you're constantly having to fight Webpack because it has an opinion about how, like you said, you develop modules and things like that and developer experience. So I think our scenario with Gulp and running Webpack optionally inside the module is actually superior to running Webpack and fighting Webpack along the way to produce the same output as we would with Gulp. So
yeah, there's something with, I think it's browser sync that you're talking about, because Webpack is tied with it. You can have your CSS be reload automatically when you're building them on the command line. It's going to show directly when you're developing without having to press F5 to refresh your browser. But yeah, there's a lot of things like that in Webpack that are bundled with it that you can configure and change things, but I'm not sure if it's good enough to be used with Orchard. I played with it for like a week and I dropped it because I was so used to the Gulp pipeline that I didn't want to put a month to debug everything and go on the process again of debugging things that doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I believe that Webpack has some feature like browser detection, update automatically, and tree shaking and bundling that are better, but it might not be adapted to the flow we have for Orchard Core because it's modular, so we don't generate a single bundle. We generate many bundles. Maybe it will be used individually, like Sipke did for the workflow module. We might use it individually in every module, not to generate a big bundle, but every single bundles. And the auto refresh might be interesting for some website development, but not the Orchard Core framework development. So maybe when you create a new application, you might want to use Webpack and reference all the resources that we generated using Gulp, but this is your part of your own development process to use Webpack and to then bundle the assets of all the modules if you need, or do your own bundle. So that might be a different level of usage than in just Orchard Core. And it's not incompatible. You can use it doing your own development. The issue of modules is that, yes, they are injected on demand. So it will like, we need Webpack, a dynamic Webpack for bundling everything. But I'm not sure that Webpack will be useful. We might find other solutions to bundle dynamically different module assets. So yeah, an open question is, should we just not use Gulp and use Webpack if it does some things better? There are many things from Webpack we won't be able to use, but if it's still better for the Gulp files.
Yeah, what I also see is people are moving away from Gulp, so
we need to relearn. This is the issue here. No. I think. Yeah.
I want to learn anything.
But we need to learn Webpack. Yeah. If we want to start something, we need to learn Webpack.
And find an issue and state all the advantages that would happen if we were to switch from Gulp to Webpack. And each module can use anything they want by default, but we have a Gulp pipeline that works for most of the cases already. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So what was I doing? Looking at PRs, but I will change topics. So what is that string, deduping, C#, GC? This one. Oh, this one maybe also. This is an old topic. But I think I can't find it. February 8th, okay. Where is the article related to that? Design feature, how do I see the file? View file. Must be a link for that. String deduplication. Opt-in feature should have no performance penalty. So let's heap size. So the idea is that every string in .NET is immutable. So when you have the same string again and again and again, these are all different in memory. Okay, they are not reused. So the goal of this design is to create a feature in the GC that will be able to find duplicates of strings in Gen2 and LOH heaps. So like strings that are very stable and are not supposed to be released soon. They have been in memory for so long that they are in Gen2 now and LOH if they are big strings. And so the goal is to create a feature that will be able to find these duplicate strings and then just use one instance and change the pointers to the same string. Okay, so that's safe because every string is immutable, and then it's a potential good improvement because if the string is in Gen2 or LOH, it means it's supposed to be there for a long time still. So that's worth spending some CPU cycles finding the duplicates. What they are doing is they call for an action to find applications and dumps that will show some applications that will benefit from that. And working on the performance in the ASP.NET team, I realized that the things we measure don't really use that, can't really use that, but with Orchard Core, though, there is a different story. So Orchard uses a lot of memory, uses more memory than a standard simple web application because you have lots of configuration and templates and so on. But I thought about a scenario where it's actually even much prone to have duplicate string, which is when we have tenants. Because every time we have a tenant, we just duplicate the same. Let's say you have the same modules for each tenant, which is most of the time what you will have. Or maybe one tenant will have a different module enabled. But most of the time, all tenants will have the same set of modules and configuration and templates. And maybe data if it's just template data. But like these cached objects we have will probably go in Gen2 because they will stay in the cached for a long time. And I assume there will be a lot of them that will be identical across tenants. So I would think that this tool could help us. Also, knowing that when we want to have a high density of orchard sites in multi-tenancy, usually, well, for Orchard 1 at least, and we also know for sure in Orchard Core, even if it's less, the memory is actually the bottleneck. So at some point, we are not limited by the CPU usage of the site, but by the memory usage of all these tenants, because each tenant will have a set of memory for every tenant we create. So I think I will run this tool on something like try.orchardcore.net because, so I asked Antoine how many tenants we had on this instance. I actually took the dump file of this instance. So he said we have about right now 40 tenants, but it's been 2 days, and he says between 100 and 150 tenants are created every week before they're refreshed. So that should show up some duplicates. I hope that we'll find, if we have 40 tenants, 40 big strings times n in the GC that we could compact, not compact, but it's also compaction, reusing the same string again and again and again, the same instance. So that should free up some memory, and then see how it impacts when we create like 1,000 or thousands of tenants, if it's even better. So that should help. The content itself, when you render a page, is not cached. It's taken from database. You render with a template, and then you lose the string, so it won't go in Gen2. But everything that is cached, like the template tree itself, configuration string, localizations, those things, they are cached. So we might get a lot of memory with that. So I will do some work there. And just the topic, I was saying also, let's look at the PRs that are about to be merged. Let's look at the issues 1.0. Did we fix some 1.0 issues? Not this one. So last time with the triage, we didn't have any P0. There is one. Oh, we had one, and so there is still one. Test Chrome, same site changes, and Matthew said, no, Dean said, try with non-HTTP.
Yeah, he meant non-HTTPS. He meant you both typed something else than you mean.
Well, and you said you're so clever, Matthijs. We trust you.
Yeah, I will translate it with my Babel fish. So on HTTPS site it works. On standard HTTP sites it doesn't work because the cookie is not secure, and then Google will throw it away, or Chrome will throw it away. So I need to find out how I can make the cookie secure on the HTTP site. So I have some investigation.
Also because did you go back to it? Because once you create the cookie on HTTPS, then if you try to authenticate in HTTP, you won't be able to. So be careful. Clear your cookies also when you do the test.
Yeah.
Okay, so I keep it open. Thank you for working on that. P1 anonymous user can get a content I'm using the content ID. There is someone working on that with, I think Gabor is working, I hope, to create a new permission. User account improvements, just some security check to do on the user account management. This will be closed once we ship because it has been fixed. It's just open to know that there is still an issue, but once we release a NuGet, this will be fixed. It's a NuGet issue. Guidance and stateless configuration. Jean-Thierry and Dean are working on services and features for stateless work, meaning nothing on the disk, everything in database or blob storage. So it's state, but not disk state. So we can scale out without any issue. Duplicate record errors in workflows. We should fix it. We should close it. I assume someone will try to repro. So here, just one thing to follow. User module forms error message are not translated. Antoine as PR, but there is another one coming that will fix everything else. So it's taken care of. This one we are waiting for Image Sharp to do a new release. P3, there is no P4. User authentication, non-persistent. We need a repro, but there is no repro. Documentation. This we might punt, not critical. Update the application management UI to support setting, scopes, permissions. Maybe retriage it. Recipe should be idempotent. There is some work with Dean already in a PR. Set a page through there by username. We might punt this one. This one will punt also, and documentation. So on Thursday, we'll do a triage of the priorities and move to 10x if should not block 10 to be shipped. And hopefully have less than 10 items to fix to ship 10 actual items. Okay. Other topics? Other questions?
Nope.
No demos, so sad. NPRs quickly. That will soon be merged. This one will so soonly be merged that I will do it. Took into consideration the comments I made before I made the comments. So awesome. And look, I don't touch anything. I don't touch anything. And magically, unless somebody broke it, I will do an F5. Where is the bot? The bot is supposed to delete the branch. Antoine broke my bot, I'm sure. It's the only explanation.
Nice demo.
It's not always working. Don't know why, but it's not always working.
Oh, so sad. I will give it some time. Updating the SDK. You see? So what's the reason to update this SDK?
Because there was a new SDK.
Yes, but there is no reason to update it.
No.
There is one reason, because it's just for us to build the things, and it still builds with the old SDK. But I will update it. .NET is uppercase NET. Oh, it worked. You saw that? It disappeared. But the bot doesn't like Hisham. That can be the only reason. Oh, you know what? What was the... There was a warning. Why? What is that? A linked issue? I don't know. Oh, closed. Let's remove closed and click on open. Culture picker setup page. So yeah, I still have some comments on this one. The idea is you can't see it clearly because it's a black theme, but so it doesn't show up very good on when there is white around. Try the drop down to switch the culture of the setup page. But I will still expect that it's selecting your preference, your preferred cultures from the request from the browser settings, and then you can still switch to the supported cultures. So going on, I have some comments on that, so not matching yet. Failsafe for absent or duplicated database tag. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what it is. I will check. So we have that. Manifest attributes, files, views, validation messages. Node checks, GraphQL settings. I assume import text. No, to export GraphQL settings in GraphQL. To export settings in GraphQL. That's interesting. So that's a new thing here. The linked issue. If I click, it goes to the issue. Okay, that's a new feature in GitHub. Good job. That's it. Questions, comments? We're on time. Sipke is late. Kind of disappointing. We talked about you so many times. We talked about Webpack.
Yeah.
You should have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's too late.
I could have taught you so many things about Webpack.
Don't worry.
Yeah, we volunteered you for a migration. It's due for 1.0.
Oh, let's do a thing, guys. Let's do a thing. Sipke, I have one question. Nobody helps him, okay? Nobody helps him. Package-lock.json. Should we commit the file in the repository, or should we not commit the file in the repository?
I have no clue. You tell me.
You are so useless, Sipke. Oh, why did you join? No, actually, that's okay. If you just join now because we are closing the meeting, so that we have to commit it. We talked about it also. You have to watch the meeting to find out why.
Great. I will learn from it.
So it's now a scientific proven fact that anyone who doesn't know how to use the package-lock.json wants to use Webpack. Probably a good correlation. And they might be right on one thing, not the package-lock.json. Okay, on that one, thanks everyone. See you on Thursday. And I assume on Thursday at noon p.m., 12 p.m. Pacific time, so 1 hour early for the European folks. But I think next week we are coming back for 9 hours difference, so it should be back for your time, Sipke, next week on Tuesday. I think so. I think Antoine told me. Is it right?
Yes, you're right. You're right, Seb.
Thank you.
That's good because change is hard for me.
Yeah, I don't want to change. Bertrand, what should we do? Should we just forget about time changes? What's your opinion on that? It's very political, so we're asking you.
No, it's March 29th.
Oh, you mean I get to make that decision?
Yes.
For the
No,
yes.
What do you think? What's your opinion about
that's
that?
That's my universal answer to everything currently.
Oh, you know what? Off topic, and maybe I should not record it, but whatever, it's fun. You know, because you know everything, and you're the scientist of the group. Last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a super bright star close to the moon. Well, the moon moves compared to our location, but there was super bright star, but super bright, and I was wondering, what is this star? And I was about to text you to tell me what this star is, but I didn't.
The plane?
No, it was completely static. But
I don't know. So there are some really great applications that are free and that you can install on your phone. That will do some, augmented reality star map that you can. You just point at something and it will tell you what it is. Basically, and it includes the space station, satellites, planets, stars, everything. So use that.
I don't know. We saw Musk satellites yesterday passing over.
Maybe it was a SpaceX satellite, yeah. Starlink.
Starlink.
Nah.
Yeah.
Was it moving?
No.
I think it was a planet.
Can it be so bright?
Planet in front of
if it was a low orbit satellite like the Starlink satellites, you would have seen it moving. I think.
I think it was Venus was very bright.
I saw it like 2 days in a row.
Yeah, Venus is a usual suspect, but who knows?
Yeah.
You can figure it out from the date and time.
Thank you. We learned so many things at these meetings. So next week the topic will be about healthcare. So
yes.
Public healthcare or private healthcare will be the topic. With myself.
Okay, I'll be the moderator.
Thanks everyone. See you on Tuesday.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.